All right, so let's see here. Is this working? It does look like it's working. All right, so this is going to be the walkthrough for parts 16 through 20. Let's go ahead and get started. So for 16, just like for how we ended the last one, 15, we're going to start with this base plate that's 1 tall, and its width is 2, 4, and 2, so that's 8. And we're going to extrude it front to back 5. So let's start a new 2D sketch on the XY plane since I'm drawing the front, and rectangle that is, what do we say? 8 wide and 2 tall, and finish sketch, extrude it 5. Oh no, it's 1 tall, excuse me. Let's edit that sketch. Edit sketch. Okay, and then let's take care of the holes in the front. There are 2 holes with a 1-inch diameter, each of which is 1.5 from the side and 1.5 from the front. So for any circle, you need 3 dimensions. You need the size of the circle, and you need its location left to right and its location front to back. So we can just do a 1-inch circle there, a 1-inch circle there, and dimension the distance from here to the front is 1.5. From here to the front, 1.5. Same thing over here. And finish sketch, extrude, choose the circle. And this one, switch to cut through all. Okay, then there's 2 round over corners in the front, which I'm going to use the fillet tool, but it has a radius of 1.5. So we'll get the fillet tool. We can do it at the same turn. Choose this edge and that edge and set the radius to 1.5. Hit OK. Then for the tower part, I'm going to do it in a few steps. First, this sort of curved from curved side to curved side is the entire width, but there's sort of a tall tower part that's 4 wide and 2 from the back, and it's 2 in from either side. It doesn't start on one edge like it did on part 15. And the amount that I'm going to extrude it, so I need it to be 4 by 2, 2 from the side, and I'm going to extrude it up to, I'll just go and extrude it the entire height, starting from this height of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tall. So we're going to put a sketch on the top face. Get a rectangle that snaps to the back edge. And dimension this way is 4. Dimension this way is 2. And you can see it says 1 dimension needed. And that dimension is the location of the rectangle one way or the other. And we'll dimension here to the side. This needs to be 2. Then we'll finish sketch, extrude, choose our new rectangle and extrude it 9. Then in order to get that rounded over edge, we're going to do a fillet again. We'll choose this edge and this edge. And if we set the radius to 2, it will be completely sort of connected because it's just 2 edges rounded over. And for the part that sticks out, we are just going to draw, put a circle right here. It shares the same center point, and extrude it out 2 more. And then put a sketch on the front, put a circle there, and cut extruded back through. So we'll start with a sketch here. We won't even need to dimension it because we'll get a snap to the center point and a snap to the edge. Finish sketch, extrude, choose our circle, extrude it 2. Okay, and then for the hole, put a sketch on the front, get a circle. The circle has a diameter of 2. Finish sketch, extrude, choose this, switch it to cut and through all, hit okay. And then these rounded shoulders here are just like on part 15, where we're going to use the fillet tool on this inside edge and on that other edge, and it will actually round over, but like create material. And you can count from these center points that its radius is 2, which should still be the radius from the last time we used it. So we want this edge and this edge. And if you choose the wrong edges, like choose an extra edge, you kind of have to hit cancel and have another go, which is fine. That one, radius of 2, and there you have it, part 15. Okay, let's take a look at part 16. Excuse me, that was part 16. Part 17. This one's pretty easy. We're going to make a block that is 8 wide, 5 tall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall, and 1, 2, 3, 6 deep. So 8 by 5 by 6, starting with our first chunk. 8 wide, 5 tall, and extruded 6. And so this, I'm going to start with a sketch on the left side, which is the side over there. And I'm going to make a circle that is big enough so that the portion that of the sketch that's actually on the block, when we cut extrude it this way, will make this shape. And the radius, if you count from this center mark this way or that way, it's a radius of 4. So we're going to put a sketch here and get the circle tool and just snap it to the top corner. And radius of 4 means diameter of 8, because circles are dimensioned by their diameter. And we're going to extrude and choose this, and it doesn't really matter if you choose that. We're going to switch it to cut, and that cut goes across 4. And that's that part. And then the other part feature is a semicircle that we're going to sketch on the top from the center point. And we're going to use a circle because a circle is always going to be a closed loop, and it's always going to let you extrude, where an arc, depending on where it snaps to, may or may not let you extrude. So this circle from the center point has a diameter of 4. So we are going to go ahead and put a sketch on the top. We'll get a circle, find that center point, make it look about right, dimension it, diameter 4, finish sketch, extrude, choose the circle or whatever, switch it to cut, and we'll cut through all. Hit okay. That is part 17. 18. A little more complicated. We are going to do, let's cut off there at the bottom too. Let's do this as a, let's do the back part first. No, let's just stick with doing the base first. So the base is 8 across, 2 tall, and 5 deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start with that. So start with a sketch on the front. Rectangle, 8 wide by 2 tall. Finish sketch. Extrude 5. Okay, and let's take care of this notch right here. This notch, we could put a sketch on the top here and draw this rectangle. This rectangle is 1 deep and 4 wide, but it's also 2 from the edge. So it's going to be like this, and then we'll cut extrude it all the way down. So it's 1 by 4 from the top and then 2 from the side. Rectangle, snap to the front edge. And we'll go 1 front to back, 4 wide and 2 from the edge. I think that's right. We'll finish sketch. Extrude, choose the rectangle, switch it to cut and through all. There we go. Then we have a couple fillets here on the 2 front corners. Right here and right here. They each have a radius of 1. So we can go ahead and get fillet tool, choose this edge and this edge, set the radius to 1. You don't have to do this in the same part feature. You could do 1, hit OK, do the other, hit OK, but that works fine. And for the part in the back, let's do just sort of the footprint, which is the entire width and 2 deep. And we'll extrude it the entire height, and then we'll round over this in the next step. Its entire height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 8 tall. Okay, we'll put a sketch there. Let's get a rectangle that goes from one corner all the way across to the other edge. So we know it's the entire width. We just need to dimension the distance, like the length of this direction, which if you put your cursor there, you can see it's highlighting the entire thing, which is not what I want to dimension. In fact, it won't even let me. I want to dimension the distance from this line to this line. So it's 3 clicks. First click on this line, second click on the back line, third click in between to set it, and it's 2. And we will extrude that 8. Okay, and the round over, which I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but it works, it will work. This round over is shares the same center point as this hole in the middle. And the radius of this round over is 4. So we're gonna fillet this edge to a radius of 4, and then we'll fillet this edge to a radius of 4, and it will make a perfect semicircle. So we'll fillet, choose this edge and set it to a radius of 4, and it will meet perfectly without a seam. And then we just, for the whole, the circle is 4 inches in diameter. Starting from that same center point, you get a snap to the center point. We just need to dimension this to 4, finish sketch, extrude, choose this, switch to cut and through all, hit OK. And that is part 18. Part 19, somewhat tricky because this sloped line, which we've done before, the center point is not on the sloped line. So you need to make sure that you don't snap it to that. I'm going to do this in 3 steps. We'll do the circle last because it might get in the way of that slope line in order to do that extrusion. But I'm going to start with a big chunk that is 1, 2, 3, 7 tall. Is that right? 7 tall, 4 front to back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 wide. 7 by 9 by 4, I think. I can always change it if I'm misreading the asymmetric lines. And so we need it to be 9 wide, 7 tall, finish sketch, and extrude it 4. Okay, and then the first extrusion, all we need is a sketch on the front. And we'll draw this sloped line. And then cut extrude the right side back a distance of 2. We just need to know where the line starts and ends, and if we connect it, we will be fine. So this end point of the line is 2 inches from the left. And this end point of the line is actually just 2 inches from the right. So we can just do that. So we'll start a sketch here. Get a line, make sure it snaps to the top edge, but not to a center point or a corner, so that we can dimension it afterwards. Same thing at the bottom. And then again, it's 3-click dimensioning. First click is the end point of the line. Second click is the corner of everything. And the third click is in between to set it. We want it to be 2 that way. Distance from the end point to the corner is 2. Then we can finish sketch, extrude, choose this side, switch it to cut, but we only want to cut a distance of 2. And then for the hole, again, remember circles have 3 dimensions you need. You need the size of the circle, but then you need the distance of the center point of the circle to the bottom and the center point of the circle to the left. So it's size and location, but location has 2 parts. So it's 3 total things. This circle has a diameter of 4. Even though when it's done, it's just an arc, we are going to use the circle tool. And so we need to use the circle tool. So all right, so the diameter is 4, and it's on this face, and its location is, I believe, 4 from the bottom and 4 from the side, and that should be enough information. So let's start a sketch here, and we'll get a circle. Make sure you don't snap it to this line, even to the edge of the line, because that's not where we want it. We don't want it on this edge, and if you snap it to this edge, you won't be able to change its location. So just put it somewhere like here, and the size of the circle is 4, and the distance, again, is 3-click dimensioning. First click is the center point, second click is the bottom, third click is in between, set that to 4, and same thing here, center point to the side is 4. And you can see there, the center point doesn't line up exactly. So if you did, it would not work. And we'll finish sketch, extrude, and we want to choose both parts of this circle because the cut goes all the way through. We'll switch cut and through all and hit OK. And there you go. That's part 19. And part 20 looks similar to other ones. We'll start with a big chunk. The chunk is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 tall, 5 deep, and 8 across. So we'll start with a rectangle on the front face, or the XY plane, because it corresponds to front. That is 8 by 6, and then extrude at 5. Rectangle, 8 wide, 5 tall. Finish sketch. Extrude 5, hit OK. All right, so there's 2 cutaways here. If you do this curved cutaway first, when you do this notch here, you should probably put a sketch on the back because you can't really put a sketch plane on the curved face. You could do the notch first and then the curved cut through. I'm going to do it the first way I said, just to have you see a different way of solving the problem. So for this curved, I'm going to put a sketch on the side, on this side, and then I'm going to make a circle that goes all the way like that, so that, because a circle is always a closed loop, it will always let you extrude. Same thing with a rectangle, which is why we use it so much, where if you use lines or arcs, it may not count it as what's called a closed loop, meaning it's not a thing that can be extruded. But either way, I'll put a sketch here, and the size of the circle, I should have checked, is, well, it's going to be an arc, and the radius of the arc is 4. But since we're using a circle tool, we need to make it diameter, which in which case that would be diameter 8. And finish sketch, extrude, choose the circle, make sure, I guess that's the only part that really matters. Switch to cut and through all, hit OK. And then it doesn't look right. Did I not make it tall enough? I don't know if I made the first one tall enough. Let's edit the sketch one. Yeah, sketch one, it should be 6 tall, which this is one of the nice things about this is you can go back and edit a sketch or part feature that you've already completed, and you don't have to hit undo a dozen times. You can just change one thing, which I didn't change. This needs to be 6. And then everything will update. And so I'm going to put a sketch on the back face. On the back face that is the shape of the notch, which the notch is 3 tall and 1, 2, 4 wide. And again, since it's not snapping to a corner, we need to know how far off of the side that it is. And it's 2 off of the side. But like I said, I'm going to spin around to the back, start a 2D sketch on that face, get a rectangle, and it needs to snap to the top edge, but not a corner. The size of the rectangle is 3 tall, 4 wide, and the distance from the side of the rectangle to the side of the shape is 2. We can finish sketch, extrude, choose our rectangle, switch it to cut, through all, hit OK, and there you go. That's part 20, and that is all of the parts that there are.